What the film?
Hello and welcome to the official first episode of the What the Film podcast. I'm joined by my dad, Chad, and the What the Film podcast is all about film and TV. We have a little fun by spinning a wheel for our movie of the month. But today we're talking about the aftermath of the 98th Academy Awards. What happened, maybe what worked, what didn't, and I mean, let's just get right into it, right? I mean, some stuff happened. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first things first, I know we want to get into the actor ones, but I have to say, Conan O'Brien was great. Mm-hmm. I absolutely am a huge Conan O'Brien fan. Back in the day, now you won't remember this, but way back in the day, he got to start writing with Saturday Night Live, but then he had a nighttime talk show, just like David Letterman. And here was the lineup. So think about this, way back in the day. It was Johnny Carson from like 11 to 12, right? Right after that was David Letterman with The Late Show. That was from 12 to 1. And then Conan came on from like 1 to 2. Hilarious. And that's where he really cultivated this crazy thing that he does, because he was playing to the really weird people that were up all night long, right? And he still kept that today, and he's really grown, I think, as a funny guy. So first of all, he did fantastic, I thought. Super hilarious. And I feel like for the Oscars, you need to keep this in a lighter mood, a lighter tone. The Oscars are usually a little bit more funny than the Golden Globes, which takes a way more serious tone to all of this. But okay, let's get into it, right? We can go right to the actors, okay? Amy Madigan won for Best Supporting Actress. Sean Penn won for Best Supporting Actor. Jessie Buckley won for Best Supporting Actress. Michael B. Jordan, Best Actor.
Yeah.
Where are you at with this?
To start off, I think the Amy Madigan win was pretty. I don't want to say shocking, but like when we talked about last episode, was she hasn't been nominated in a very, very long time. Horror really never gets recognized whatsoever, so it was a huge horror win. And I mean, shout out to all the women in that category too to begin with. Like, I think Wumi Musako and Tiana Taylor were so great in their respective movies. So Amy Madigan winning was such a heartwarming win too. It was so great.
Yeah, I loved it. And again, like you said, I mean, she's definitely been around doing the grind for a very long time. So I think ultimately it is deserved. I think it's great. Horror somehow, gets a little sneak in there. You never see that. And horror is usually put aside as just, fluff. But you have to be a real actor to pull off horror. Like, you still have to be in the moment. You still have to do all the same things that dramatic actors do. The story's just a little bit different. That's all. So I agree 100%.
Yeah. And I think for the rest of the wins, Sean Penn winning, him also not being at the Oscars was obviously going to happen. It was kind of funny with Kieran Culkin saying he didn't want to be here, so I'll just accept it. That was really funny.
Sean Penn couldn't be here this evening, or didn't want to, so I'll be accepting the award on his behalf.
Kieran shrugs.
But
yeah,
honestly,
absolutely.
So for the Best Supporting Actor, though, I was really rooting for Delroy Lindo here. I think the amount of times he was snubbed at the Oscars for Malcolm X or for Da 5 Bloods, whatever the case may be, he needs an Oscar, and I think this playing Delta Slim, I think his real chance at getting it. So hopefully one day he can get that.
I agree, and I don't know if this is sometimes maybe the Academy tries to be fair, right? We know Sinners is going to get all this, so let's at least throw somebody else something. Maybe again, I'm not saying that happens, but maybe it does. I don't know. Sean Penn, 100% is a fantastic actor. If you ever watch his body of work, he changes with each character. He really puts on the physical side of things. In one of the films for the film of the month, I'm recommending a Sean Penn film just so you can see the difference in his acting, how he really incorporates the role and becomes this other character, right? From I Am Sam to Harvey to any of his any of his films. So I think he's really great. He absolutely deserves Oscars. In this case, I don't know. I thought he did great as the character. The character itself, I felt, was a little cartoony in the movie. like or comic book villainish. I don't know. Something just didn't sit right with me. But again, fully deserve it as far as an acting chops.
Yeah. And then, as far as the Jessie Buckley one, I think that was just pretty straightforward. She was clearly the best. Her role in Hamnet was the best out of that bunch. But the Michael B. Jordan win, man, it warms my heart that Michael B. Jordan has an Oscar now.
I knew you were very excited. When we were watching it, Shelby was even like, "Yeah, Tristan is really liking this."
It's
good.
From Fruitvale Station, right, working with Coogler, and then from Black Panther, then Creed, and then now winning it in Sinners, and a lot of people online are like, well, I guess Timothée Chalamet talking about ballet and the opera, it lost him this Oscar.
I read that.
And to me, it's such an undertaking of Michael B. Jordan's performance in Sinners, because it wasn't just because Timothée Chalamet said these, outlandish things. It's because he plays twin Smoking Stack to a perfect T. His performance is honestly one of the best, performances I think I've ever seen, watching a movie in a cinema. It's so good. It's so intricate and perfect to me. So I don't like when people talk about Timothée Chalamet lost the Oscar. No, Michael B. Jordan won that Oscar. You know what I mean?
I agree. To be honest, I didn't even know anything about this ballet thing until today. I was watching the thing and I'm like, why do they keep bringing up ballet? I have no clue about that. And again, I don't think that's something that's going to kill somebody's. I think the votes were already in for this stuff, so I don't think that it really had anything to do with it, maybe other than public opinion. Again, I don't know what he was going for. I don't know what the whole... I read the comment that he said about ballet and opera, and, again, his publicists probably shit themselves, hearing that. So, whatever. Michael B. Jordan, I agree 100%. And I'm not even a big fan of Michael B. Jordan. You know this. I get he's a good actor, but... he did great in this movie. There's a rule in acting, right? Especially if you're a character actor. No human picks up the phone the same way, right? So that's the rule in acting. If you're going to become somebody else, you have to learn how to pick up the phone in a different way, right? Than you normally actually would, because everybody does it different. And he played two different roles, and he picked up that phone differently in each. The way he reacted to his girl as, Stax was different than the way he reacted to, the girl, when it was the other guy. So it worked.
Yeah.
Now, if he would have played these same two characters in a completely different movie, would he have won the Oscar? I don't know. Sometimes there's just lightning in a bottle where the performance is so great, the movie just works. Sometimes that does incorporate, the reason why they actually win the best actor. So I don't know. I thought it was fantastic. And funny enough, I tried to think about it. I was like, wait a minute, was he the only person to ever win an Oscar playing two different roles in one movie? And he wasn't.
Wow.
Lee Marvin in 1965 won an Oscar for playing two different roles. The movie, I believe, is called Cat Bayou or Cat Bulu something. Mm-hmm. I'd never seen the movie, but apparently he did win also for playing two brothers. So won Best Actor. So I thought maybe that was a moment, but I guess not. He's the second person to ever win the Oscar. So I thought that was interesting, because you don't ever really see that ever.
Yeah, I mean, if you want my opinion, I think Michael B. Jordan should have two different Oscars for playing Smoke and Stack.
for two of the different ones.
But I'll digress.
Absolutely. So has Michael B. Jordan done any movie that wasn't a Coogler movie?
Yeah. So he's done a lot of other movies. So Coogler has never done a movie without Michael B. Jordan.
Right. Okay.
But yeah. Michael B. He was in Fahrenheit 451 with Michael Shannon a couple of years back, and which was movie.
Right.
That.
I think that's a great.
Also, Ryan Coogler only directed the first Creed movie. Creed 2 and Creed 3 were all Michael B. Jordan doing it. So
that makes sense. So he just handed it off.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, and it looks like as we get into the other categories, it looks like Coogler really has a community of the artists with him in every movie, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like he has the same cinematographer. Mm-hmm. It seems like he has this, which again, I think is brilliant. You know how it is. When we make our short films, we want to get the same people over and over. We want to have the same community, sort of like a traveling show, right?
Mm-hmm.
A theater company. And I think it's great. It really is a testament, I think, to how good he is. It isn't just him, right? He's bringing along all these people with him because he understands their talent and brings probably the best out in all of those people as well. So I think that's brilliant. So I mean, let's get into some of the other categories. Frankenstein. I have a funny story to tell you. I'll tell you in a second. But Frankenstein basically won for production design, best makeup, hairstyling, best costume. I guess that's obvious. Number one, the director is batshit crazy. He always does outlandish things, with the sets, with his special effects, with his makeup and everything. So it makes sense. Thank God, they were able to give him the Oscar. Where's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know if you've seen Frankenstein yet or not, but
I have not. It's on the list.
The production design in that is amazing. Each scene really immerses you into it, and then obviously the costume design. It's a period piece that's like really like grand and like Transylvanian, obviously, and the hairstyling and makeup is perfect. Like Jacob Elordi had to stand or sit in a chair for over 400 hours during the production to be in the monster costume. It's crazy.
It's nuts,
and it's dedication, and it's really well done. So I'm proud of Frankenstein.
So when whatever the first Oscar it won, or where they listed it, I forget what. Maybe that was production design. I can't remember. Mm-hmm. It came up and it said Dracula, and so you and me. I'm sorry, you said Frankenstein. So you and me recently went to go see the new Dracula movie, which was one of the worst films I've ever seen. It was god awful, and I don't know what had like in my head. I saw that it said Frankenstein, but I thought they meant Dracula.
Yeah.
And I turn to Shelby, my wife, and I say, that can't be right. I was like, there's no effing way this movie's nominated for any fucking Oscar.
Yeah, no.
And it won. And I was like, hold on. And I texted you. I don't know if you remember. I texted you, LLO Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was Dracula. And I'm like, what is going on? How did this win a freaking Oscar? And then it came to me, I was like, wait a minute. It was Dracula that we saw. So anyway, that's I got a little weird with that, where I actually thought that won an Oscar. But yeah, so of course it was definitely well deserved.
Oh man. Yeah.
The best casting. So there was a new best casting award. I find it interesting. I don't know how I feel about it, because I guess, again, I don't work in Hollywood, so I don't know everything that the casting director fully does, but I always think that the last word goes to the director. Mm-hmm. Right? A casting director can say, look, we need Timothée Chalamet here. And the director is going to be like, nah. Right? So I don't know the artistry of the casting director, but apparently there is some. I mean, these people do work their ass off to cast a movie, which, and I'm sure they have to also deal with the agents. They have to deal with scheduling. They have to deal with everything. So I'm sure it's an undertaking. With that being said, I feel One Battle After Another was an obvious choice because it had such Hollywood star power. Mm-hmm. Whereas Sinners, or some of the other films, had people that I'd never heard of, that I think that's where the crust of casting goes.
So
does that make sense?
So yeah, I mean, the only thing that One Battle, I will say, this is such a hard category, because each casting and each like group of casting is like a little family, so they have to have that togetherness. And One Battle does have that a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you see Tiana Taylor, Regina Hall, and Chase Infinity, like with Leonardo DiCaprio, you're like, okay, they're cool. But yeah, Sinners, like the only star power I think that was really like heavy was Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan. They had to do a lot of the heavy lifting. But then when you have new people like Miles Catton, you know, not Haley Steinfeld as much, but she's up and coming in a way, and Jamie Lawson and all those. So it definitely felt like the casting win is more of a let's bring all these guys together and make the best movie possible, instead of we have a whole bunch of new people that we want to showcase their talent.
And, well, I wonder too, with casting, at what ratio do people have to audition and people don't? Like, did Leonardo DiCaprio have to actually go in and read for the role? Or, you know, were they like, bro, you got the part? And I don't know the answer to that. So it would be interesting to see how many people in Sinners had to actually read for it.
That's another thing. I feel like Michael B. Jordan didn't have to read for Smoke or Stack. Like, that looked like they were made for that role.
Right. And when they've done so much together that I'm sure Michael B. Jordan's, hey, I'll do that. Yeah. and
right.
You know, Ryan Coogler's like, okay, you know, I don't know. I don't know how. I know how it works for us, right? When we're trying to do something that we were doing very short stuff, and there's not a lot of dialogue, so a lot of times we don't need people to read. You know, we did it. We had an audition, and we used the audition footage for the film. So, you know, again, we're on a totally different level, way lower level. But I think it would be interesting to see what that really entails, casting director.
And also,
you know?
what's the requirement to have the best cast? Like, because obviously with One Battle, it's a whole bunch of famous people. Same with Sinners, really. But then I think the other one with the Secret Agent was casted for best cast, and those are literally unknown people from, you know, the acting world in Brazil. So like, they made a great movie. So
if we would retroactivate this award, Avengers Endgame would have had to win best casting, right? Like, I mean, it would have had to.
Maybe next year at the
like you're right. So,
you know, Doomsday, Sweetword, like Dune Part 3. There's a whole bunch of like,
right?
Because there's a whole bunch of it's just one or two characters that are perfectly casted for that movie are never going to get a chance to have. So this award, I think, really is just the best ensemble of the year. You know what I mean? Like, you're bringing a whole bunch of people
it could be
together.
I'm wondering, I would project to see if you can come up with a list of movies that were not well casted. Because I feel most movies, it's such a well-oiled machine. I feel most movies are casted well. You know, maybe give or take a few.
I mean,
so I wonder, actually, think about that. Maybe for next time.
Yeah.
What's a movie that was not casted well? And you'll find more that were casted well than not, I think.
That's a hard question, yeah.
But then again,
Moving on to, I think, my least favorite part of the entire show was when the Sinners I Lied to You song lost to the K-pop Demon Hunters song Golden. Listen, well, everyone will say that yes, the global impact that Golden had, you know, with, you know, the our nieces singing to this song, that it, like, whatever.
Yes.
But the best original song should have, you know, because in the movie K-pop Demon Hunters, it moves the story forward, but it's just like a piece that they're trying to, you know, release. But I Lied to You, and in that surreal montage is the heart and soul of that entire movie. That's the reason why Ramek and the vampires are coming after Sammy and his music, because he sings that song, which is really the climax to the movie, right? That's the tipping point. That's the best scene in the movie. And then after that, it goes downhill with, you know, people trying to kill each other and become vampires and whatever. So it was kind of a little bit heartbreaking for that to lose.
I never looked at it in the way of how it relates to the film. So you're right. Looking at it that way, it is a more important piece of the film. I'm guessing if you just look at it just from, we're going to throw this on the radio as a song. Right. You know, Elton John's The Lion King song, the song that he won, whatever, the song that he did for that. Just as a piece of music, separate from the movie, but made for the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe K-pop then would make sense because, people are just going to listen to it over and over again. You're going to hear it on the radio. The kids are going to play it.
And don't get me wrong, like, I actually do enjoy the movie and the song. Like, I don't hate at all K-pop Demon Hunter.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Amazing song.
You just thought it was second place.
It really should have.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I get it.
Stuff with the
I don't know.
stuff, it's it is what it is.
Yeah, just as a song. And I get it was, one is more of an art piece and the other is a pop song, basically. So there's a difference even in the genre.
So yes, maybe it's because you can't listen to it without maybe watching the scene. Because I feel like maybe if you listen to I Lied to You without like the guitars coming in and the Chinese.
Is it on your iPhone right now? Like, is it on your Spotify?
It is on my Spotify. Well, yes.
On your Spotify? Okay, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I listen to it.
How many people?
Yeah, right. Maybe I'm the only person, or maybe, but it does dig deeper if you see the visuals of what's going on. With K-pop Demon Hunters, you really don't have to look at what the music video is in the movie.
Do you think it was a little weird that they only did 2 live performances?
Yeah,
of those 2 songs, and the rest of the songs had no chance whatsoever of winning.
Yeah, that was kind of
right?
Damn, it's either one of these 2. It's not going to be the other.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's a little.
I thought that was a little weird. They could have thrown in like a medley of all of them. I don't know. The shorts. So we make short films. Let's talk about shorts. Shorts in the Oscars. How weird, right? Could you ever imagine one of our shorts being at the Oscars? So I did notice that it seems like these shorts had really good producers. Actually, one, Julianne Moore, the actress, was a producer on one of them. So right away, that's why we're not in the Oscars. Is we don't have that power behind anything that we do. But I've only seen one of the shorts, The Singers.
Yes,
it's on that Singers.
I saw that.
That movie is so good. Yeah. It was beautiful in every way possible. Yeah. It was so beautiful.
I really loved the final singing one, where the guy is kind of going.
It was such a surprise, and that's what you love. Like, we've been to many film festivals. We've seen a lot of short films. Most people don't watch short films, but in the film community, you really learn a lot. And the greatest thing about what you find about short films is there's always a surprise, right? There's some sort of, they have a really limited time to trick you into loving what they're doing. It was so good. The feeling of it, I loved it.
The Singers is only 18 minutes, and yet I feel like I had a way more emotional impact to those people at the bar singing to really any movie that was nominated for an Oscar. Obviously
right.
One Battle or Sinners, but it's kind of crazy.
It was such a powerful piece of art. I loved it. And again, like, we were just at a film festival. We've seen a lot of short films, and some of them are really, really good. Some are like ours, and maybe some a little bit silly, right, or cheaper done or whatever. But man, that was a good short film. So I'm glad.
Yeah,
that was the
crazy part is that was a tie between the Singers.
It was a tie,
and people exchanging saliva, which that sounds interesting. I want to see that.
It's a tie. I'm not joking. It's actually a tie. So everyone calm down. We're going to get through this. Focus up.
It does sound interesting. I do want to check that out.
Last time that happened was in 2013, over 10 years ago, which is crazy. Honestly, I never even knew there was a tie at the Oscars. So when I read that, I was like, wait, what just happened? Like, that was...
You would think the people voting, you would have an odd number of people voting, so you wouldn't have a tie, right? How do you have a tie? I don't
know. Idea. But yeah, obviously...
They have 8 people voting instead of 7? What's going on with that? That's weird.
But yeah, that was pretty interesting. Last time that happened, 2013, Zero Dark 30 and Skyfall winning for Best Sound. Pretty interesting, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, the screenplays, I think this was just a perfect wins for One Battle winning adapted and Sinners winning for original. I don't want to sound like a broken record when I'm talking about Sinners being so original, and other people are saying, oh, but he's inspired by From Dusk Till Dawn and whatever. No. Let's end that conversation. He won Best Original Screenplay. It's over now.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was a fantastic screenplay. It was so well written, because just leading up to what happens in the film, there's so much backstory that you don't, you're just given with ease.
Yeah.
The characters were well written out and well flushed. The suspension of disbelief was perfect. It was perfect. I didn't know that one battle was adapted.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
But I normally love reading the books, that these things. I don't think I'll do that with this, but again, that was a good screenplay as well. Yeah, I thought that they deserved it for sure. Paul Thomas Anderson. I can't say enough. I know now he's getting a lot of accolade, and he's done a lot over the years where people are like, sure, he's great. But, I mean, no lie, when Hard Eight first came out, which is his first movie, when Boogie Nights came out, and when Magnolia came out, it was unbelievable. Boogie Nights, I was in film school when Boogie Nights came out, and everybody compared it to Raging Bull. Because it's basically Raging Bull. It's a Martin Scorsese film, but with porn.
Right.
It's so fantastic. It's so well done. It's so stylized. And it totally steals from Raging Bull. It steals from On the Waterfront. And then he did Magnolia, which to me is one of the most epic undertakings as far as ensemble cast I've ever seen. It's batshit. It's a batshit movie. I can't say it's a happy movie, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So I've always known, I felt, that he was top notch. So best director, yes, sure, I guess.
It's a hard.
I don't know if this was the movie he should have won it for.
Right.
But he definitely should win best director.
And I think a lot of things, maybe talking about too much of what the Oscars were really wanting, like PTA should have won this for, probably Boogie Nights or something else. And thinking about, Ryan Coogler, he should have won it for Sinners, but later down the line in a couple of years, he'll probably win it for another movie that he's doing anyway. You know what I mean? So there's stuff like that where it's PTA's, he deserves an Oscar for like a legacy award kind of thing that we're talking about with a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's a body of work. I feel the same way when Denzel won for Best Actor.
Training Day.
For Training Day. I honestly didn't feel it was great. I thought that was almost a little overdone as far as acting, or maybe it was the story. I don't know. But prior to that, for, Malcolm X, for John Q, for just about anything that he's done, he should have won Best Actor, but never did. So I get sometimes it's a culmination. But I mean, not to take anything away, one battle after another was fantastically done.
Yeah,
it was well directed, absolutely. Best Picture. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a hard thing to do because again, it's kind of, and Conan said it. This is the tightest race I feel like for any Oscars that I've seen, because every year you're like, okay, this should probably win it. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. But One Battle and Sinners is really a 1A and 1B situation. Obviously, I love Sinners a lot more. But if someone says, hey, I like One Battle over Sinners, I'm like, okay, that's it.
What was the one hold on. It was I forget who said it. It might have been Paul Thomas Anderson. So he mentioned 1975's Oscars. Mm-hmm. Right? This was the best. Now you've seen one of these movies.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you need to see all of them. Because this, I don't even know how you pick. But it was, this was the 1975 Best Picture. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Jack Nicholson. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Amazing film. One of the most classic films of all time. That was the winner, by the way. Barry Lyndon, which is Stanley Kubrick. Barry Lyndon was filmed by candlelight. NASA had to make a special lens just for Stanley Kubrick. The whole thing was candlelit. Dog Day Afternoon, Al Pacino. Holy shit. It's so good. Nashville, fantastic movie. And then Jaws, which of course is probably the greatest movie ever made. I don't know how the hell all 5 were stacked. Now this year, I think it was definitely up between Sinners and One Battle After Another. The others were good from the ones that I saw, but I mean, there's no comparison, right? No comparison.
And I think
at all.
Also the Oscars should probably lower. So obviously they used to do just 5 Best Picture nominations. Now they're doing 10. They need to get rid of that because.
Yeah. Oh my God! It's like every film.
No. Yeah. There's amazing, great films that could be a part of that list, but 10 I think is way too many. Just chop it down to 5 again, and I get it. They're trying to get more movies to be nominated because maybe there was one year there was like a 7 or 8 or whatever.
Why just that category then? Why not do 10 Best Actors?
Right. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that.
Why do that?
We talk about it. Last episode,
It's weird.
F1 got nominated for Best Picture. How did that get nominated for Best Picture if Brad Pitt, Damson Idris never got nominated for the actor role? There's not like it's such a weird.
I really thought that was. Did that win anything?
Yeah, that went Best Edit. Best.
Editing.
Sound,
I was just going to say.
Sound, I think. The sound design.
And it's Jerry Bruckheimer, right? That's a Jerry Bruckheimer film.
Wait, no.
So
that's Joseph Kosinski, who did Tron.
Oh, well, maybe he produced it. I don't. So, I would have to agree. I think that probably should have won because editing. You've been in the editing chair.
I think the best
editing a race
went to One Battle After Another. I'm remembering.
Okay, but so you've been in the editing chair.
Yeah.
Editing a race, a high-speed race, has to be impossible.
Yeah.
Right? What a crazy, adding in the sound and making sure, even just from there's a movie called Days of Thunder way back in the day with Tom Cruise. Again, you have to watch it. It's great. It's like Top Gun, but with cars.
Yeah.
But
this is so weird.
There's
F1 is literally
there's continuity.
Top Gun.
There's continuity problems in the editing. Like one time, one shot a car's dirty, and another shot it's not dirty or dented, and it's not dented. It's all over the movie Days of Thunder. The continuity is a mess. But it's because they filmed a real race, right? So like the editing had to be insane. And so if F1, doesn't have those problems, then good on them, right? Then they absolutely deserve an Oscar for that, for sure. It's gonna be hard to try to edit that.
I mean, it was directed by the same guy that did Top Gun Maverick, so there's like that whole.
Yeah.
So it's very well edited. It definitely should have won Best Editing. One Battle edited was good. I don't know if there's anything like too insanely intricate to the point where F1 wouldn't get that, but it is what it is.
So I know. So we'll go to the small screen, but I do want to shout out one thing in the Oscars that I thought was so awesome. It was the cinematography award. For Sinners, she looked like business.
Yeah.
I don't know this person.
First ever woman to win that award, by the way.
First ever woman to win the award, but man, she didn't jump around. There wasn't any. She came up like it was her job to do. Right? She looked fantastic. She looked professional. She just was like, look, here I like when I saw her walk up and give her speech, I thought how she is on set.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because, I mean, think about how crazy this got to be. A cinematographer is usually very versatile or very hostile.
Yeah.
A lot of cinematographers are kind of crazy, completely male-dominated section, right, of the filmmaking aspect. And, man, she looked cool as shit. Like, I was like, damn, I want to work with this girl because she looks like she's just on point. And obviously the cinematography, I'm assuming she was the cinematographer on Black Panther.
I think she's always
I'm assuming she's
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm assuming she's a cinematographer, basically everything he does. And man, that's perfect, dude. And what a great thing for her to win. So I thought that was awesome. And good for her. Thank God that happened.
And cinematography is probably one of the best I've ever seen in my life, to be honest.
It's so good.
Like
it's
each
so
shot
good.
Is great. Each moment when you pan the camera or cut the camera to a different shot, it's so well done. It's so Kosinski Coogler, working a little bit with Christopher Nolan with his cinematography, because he does the same thing he does with the 70mm IMAX cameras. It looks great. It looks so great. So, it's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, with that, is there anything else other than the Oscars that we should talk about? I don't think there really was anything. Like I said, though, or I guess like the tribute was beautiful for Robert Redford.
Oh, the tribute was so great. I don't think people your age realize Robert Redford's importance for filmmaking. Like, I know you know him from the Marvel movies, but my God, he in the 60s and 70s, he was Hollywood.
Yeah,
he was Hollywood, right? I mean, and he understood that filmmakers needed places to show their stuff rather than just Hollywood, right? So he did Sundance, celebration of film, and he is in some great movies. I thought it was a great tribute. The Rob Reiner was
the Rob Reiner one,
a great tribute.
So beautiful.
I love that they also mentioned his wife. I thought that was cool. They could have just did him, but his wife was very important. So that was glorious. As cheesy as it is, yeah, me and Shelby teared up 100%. At when they did Diane Keaton,
right.
Again, I don't think that your generation fully grasps how important Diane Keaton was to cinema.
Well, that's
go see Annie Hall, go see The Godfather. She invented that powerful woman, no nonsense, cute persona. There are scenes in The Godfather that she kills. It's so powerful. She's a powerful actress. It was so great. I thought that was a great tribute to all of the people. Do you think this is a weird question, but do you think that so everybody's hot, right, in the Oscars? Sure. Everybody's freaking hot. Of course, their publicists do them up. They're wearing thousands of dollars worth of clothes. The men are definitely hot. The women are hot. I even seen, I think Emma Stone was in the front row, and I don't generally think that she's super attractive, but I was like, damn, I think she's looking good tonight. Everybody looked good. Do you think that they try to hook up? Do you think at the after party somebody's like, oh, here's Michael B. Jordan, hey,
a lot of people are probably going up to Michael B. and be like, hey, do you want to come check out my trailer real quick? What's going on?
Right? Who, because everybody's looking good. Everybody.
I'm sure back then they definitely went buck wild. I'm sure.
I'm sure, right? There's got to be some weird.
Yeah. Probably.
Because I don't know if we were at the Oscars. And I'm not saying I'm going to hit on anybody if I ever went to the Oscars, but
right.
After party, you're probably getting a little bit of drinks, and you're sitting there with Demi Moore, or whoever, and you're like, hey, you know what I mean?
Right.
How weird would you have shit come out of your mouth?
Yeah, I mean,
Kathy Bates, you look amazing tonight, or whatever. I don't know. Just a weird question. I always think they're all very professional. I know they're not really
that's what I mean,
sexualized, but
definitely more back then. It was probably that type of vibe. If you maybe 80s, 90s, but I think maybe this new age, there's not so much of that.
Is anybody? So Timothy Chalamet, let's say he goes to the after party without his girl, right? Without the Kardashian. Right. Is there anybody there at the party that's like, hey? Well, you're not with anybody tonight.
Unless the person doesn't like ballet, I think he has a good chance.
Right. Yeah. He won't have it. Exactly. All right. Small screen.
Yeah, so
let's do small screen.
Small screen spotlight. One show that we each love, or one show each that we both love. I'm gonna talk a little bit about The Boys. The Boys is a comic book adaptation TV series from Amazon Prime. It is probably one of the most messed up TV shows I think I've ever seen in my life. And season 5 is coming out April. It's coming out next month, in April. But yeah, I mean, The Boys. I don't know if you've ever seen anything from it.
I've seen clips. I haven't watched. It's one of those on the list. But I've backed up from comic book shows for a little bit.
This is not your average superhero TV show.
But yes, I know that this is raunchy and in your face. So what is it that you like about it?
So growing up, watching every single animated TV show, superhero TV show, live action TV show, Marvel, DC, reading comic books, playing the Lego video games, playing the regular video games, you kind of have that, it's all almost the same thing. Watching some movies,
you're desensitized in a little
then when you start to see this TV show called The Boys, you're like, oh, okay, Carl Urban is in it, that's interesting, that's a hook right there. So you're like, let me watch it based off a comic book. The first episode happens.
Sure.
Jack Quaid, who's Dennis Quaid's son, it plays a character called Huey. Him and his girlfriend are talking on the street, and this guy, who's a speedster, literally runs right into his girlfriend, exploding her, blood gushing everywhere, him holding her hands where there's nothing connected. You're like, what just happened? This is so awesome. Like, it's mind-boggling. Obviously, the whole Homelander thing is kind of like the Injustice Superman, right? Like, what if Superman was this evil, racist guy that, everyone hates, but he's super powerful, no one can beat him. It's stuff like that, which is amazing. And then season 2 rolls around, and you get Soldier Boy, which, Soldier Boy is probably the best, written character. A lot of it kind of is a DC kind of thing where you're like, there's a Justice Society back then, and then they come back with the Justice League, but which is more, I think, the Secret Seven, whatever. But it's the show is season 4 definitely took a bit of a decline, but that's just with every show. You have so much characters, you don't know what you're doing. But the first 3 seasons is legit probably one of the best superhero TV shows ever. There's
a little bit about today, right? Like there's a conservative or more Republican bad guy, I guess, so, right? It sort of echoes a little bit of the racial stuff today.
The show is very like, if superheroes were in our era, like that's what's like back then when they had the superheroes, they were fighting our wars for us. The Vietnam War, whatever happened, even World War II, and I mean, that's kind of thing with Homelander is like you see a lot of if Donald Trump had Homelander, this is probably what he's gonna do and do all this stuff. It's stuff like that where you're like,
I got you. Yeah.
Damn. But the boys, the characters that are, called the boys, Starlight and Huey and Mother's Milk and Frenchie, Kamiko, a whole bunch of ragtag people that are with the Butcher, who's trying to kill Homelander because he's a racist piece of shit and they want to get him out of there. So it's you'll understand once you watch. You're like, this is actually like real life. I'm watching real life just with superheroes, and that's what I do like it so much. And a lot of the it sounds so weird. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's called Hero-gasm. It's literally a whole bunch of these superheroes go to a house and have an orgy, and it is the most messed up scene in anything I've ever seen. Like there's penises, vaginas everywhere.
Awesome.
It's pretty cool. And then obviously Homelander goes and messes it up, but it's crazy. It's so weird and crazy.
It's definitely on my list. I do want to say I love something about what I can say. Not that necessarily superhero stuff is sci-fi, but I always feel sci-fi and horror are good ways to reflect artistically what's going on in the world today. Right? Every horror movie that you see, this is why in the 1980s, horror movies had teenagers getting killed when they went off to go have sex, right? Then Jason went and killed him. Well, if you look at it in the 1980s, AIDS was a big thing, right? So we were told if you have sex with somebody unprotected, you're going to die, right? And literally in the movies, they get killed, by Jason or Freddy or whatever, right? So, and I feel like now we're in this sort of sci-fi era or superhero era where now these characters can now reflect actual society. And honestly, to be honest, that's really what Stan Lee was doing with comic books back in the day. The X-Men is absolutely a reflection on racism and speciesism and everything that we were doing back in the day that was bad. So I think it really lends itself to that, and that's great. Now, what you mentioned is how shocked you were because you grew up on so many different things. You get desensitized to so many stuff, and sometimes you need to be smacked in the face. And that's what art needs to do. So if The Boys is going to come on and show you some shit that you've never seen before, no matter how disgusting and crazy it is, I think that's great because it needs to smack you in the face. You need to wake up a little bit. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes.
Yeah. And it comes in a time where literally every single TV show about a superhero was origin, they do the thing, they beat the villain, and then it repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. And then this was just...
Right.
The good guys legit have never won in this show. They've gotten away, but they've never won. Homelander is still like killing them basically. So it's
right.
such a good.
That's excellent. Yeah. That's awesome.
But yeah, if you want to go ahead and take it over for your spotlight.
Yeah. So my small screen spotlight is the 1980s show Dynasty.
Okay.
Before anybody is like, what the F? So it came out in 1981, Dynasty. It's basically a late night or primetime soap opera. Essentially about a bunch of rich people, a rich oil tycoon trying to keep his family together and also trying to keep his company. While his ex-wife, who's a crazy, insane, powerful woman, is trying to fuck him over every chance she gets. Played by Joan Collins. So the show itself is super cheeseball. It's very 1980s. It's very elegant and crazy as far as the plot lines. I mean, crazy plot lines. Like, there's a double of somebody that they found on the street and they're making it seem like they're the real person, to people like disappearing, to people getting abducted by aliens, to people, trying to kill somebody just by painting, using bad paint on their walls. It's batshit. Every episode is crazy. Every season gets even crazier. I'm not saying it's a great piece of art in any way. It's super entertaining though. If you can watch this show, and please, everybody watch this show, but dispel your disbelief for a second and not say, well, this is just some dumb 80s show, blah, blah, and the plots aren't serious. They're not. But man, you have the best time of your life if you could just let it go and just, for what it is, be like, this is cheap entertainment. This is batshit craziness. When you care about characters, they're going to be stupid and silly and everything they do is dumb. Brilliant as shit, though. The show was great. And at the time, it was a huge show. Huge.
Sure.
Joan Collins is an icon. Heather Locklear's in it for a stint. Billy D. Williams is in it for a short period of time. It's brilliant. Crazy as shit show. There's literally an ending that's like the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones. There's a big wedding that happens in Moldavia, and for whatever reason, a bunch of Moldavian nationals literally do parkour, and they parkour their way up into this castle and shoot everybody.
Wow.
They literally shoot the entire cast, and that's how the season ends. I think it's season 4. The whole season ends with everybody dead. Of course, none of them are dead. The next season, some shit happens because it's a soap opera.
Yeah.
So nobody actually stays dead. If somebody dies, they're going to come back later. But it was the greatest time I've ever had, and every episode is so silly. I could totally rewatch it again and just be totally obsessed with it. My sister was, back in the day, Trisha was very into Dynasty, so I had to watch it as a kid growing up, and I remember it even back then being like, what the fuck is this crazy stuff? And it still holds up. Now, don't get me wrong, it's the 80s, so like men in every episode grab a woman like harshly. Like they'll grab them right by the arm, in fact, the main character in season 1 rapes his wife, and he's the hero. He's the hero and he rapes his wife. It's not necessarily appropriate, and the Me Too, today's woke culture would be like, what the hell's going on here? But It's a fun show. It's a super fun show that I think everybody should at least check out.
Yeah. A question for that too. So you said it came out in the 80s, correct? But it's not.
Yeah, 1981.
It's not set in the 80s. It's more of a
No, it is. Yep. It's set in the 1980s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's a scene where Heather Locklear. Go ahead. You can YouTube this. She's running down the hall of this mansion with a boombox playing Michael Jackson.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's crazy.
Wow. Okay.
It's hilarious. It's a hilarious show.
Okay.
Not meant to be hilarious,
Right.
but it is absolutely hilarious.
Interesting. And how many seasons
Yep.
was it? Do you?
I want to say 9. I think there's 9 seasons, and there's a spin-off show. So there's also a spin-off show which has 2 seasons.
Okay.
And they intermingle, like, you know, it's sort of just like Marvel.
Okay.
Like they
There's
intertwine.
a Dynasty cinematic universe. Oh man.
Yes, absolutely. It's ridiculous.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think if there's any. Oh my God! What's the head of the NRA is in the spinoff? Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston is in the spinoff. Yeah, it's crazy. It's also, by the way, Dynasty was the first show to have one of the first shows to have an outwardly gay character.
Really?
Yes. Now, the funny thing about that is this particular character turns off the gay for certain scenarios. So sometimes he's gay and then he goes with a woman and then he goes back to being gay again. So it's like, wait a minute, what's going on?
He's the first openly bisexual. Character,
Bisexual,
so,
yeah,
Sure.
basically.
Sure.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Alrighty, let's quickly move on to
Yeah. Oh, the movie of the month.
movie of the month. So yeah, last episode, we got Bram Stoker's Dracula. Now, quickly before we even talk about that, we do need to shortly talk about the Dracula that we saw a month ago because I before watching that, right, I watched Bram Stoker's right before that, so I was kind of gearing up for that, and I was sort of excited. I like Caleb Landry Jones, and you know the Dracula world is kind of not too interesting to me, but when it's done right, it's done well. With Dracula, that came out in February, it was a mess.
Was this? It seemed to me it was a French remake.
I think so, Bram.
Of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and because I don't even remember it having anything to do with. Well, he spent a lot of time in France, right?
Yeah.
So, and a lot of the actors I thought were France. It was a mess. It was a terrible. Terrible thing.
It's not even just like the story was bad. The whole premise of what Dracula is trying to do doesn't make any sense to me. But it's like the whole setting of the movie didn't look like a Transylvanian thing. It looked more like a medieval castle that's like an old English thing. And I love Christoph Waltz is in it, right? And he's great. He's the only good thing about that movie, yet we barely see him in that. And it was very
it missed pretty much, I think, in every aspect. Dracula has always been sexy, for one. Okay, the gothic crowd, the goth people and gothic tones is always sexy. He is a character. When you look at the character, he's been around for centuries. He knows what to do with the women. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's absolutely a great. And I felt he was not sexy. There was nothing. I don't know. It wasn't a very stylized movie. His minions
don't even
made no sense. Made no sense. I don't know.
In the movie, he has gargoyles that are protecting him and whatever, which is fine. There wasn't anything wrong with that.
Well, they dressed him though too. I mean, they dressed him
until one of them literally looked like Rey Mysterio and did a Hurricane Rana to one of the guys. And I know you turned to me. What? We were watching it in the theater. You turned to me. Did that guy just do a Hurricane Rana?
What the fuck? Why? Who's in that meeting room man, this Dracula movie is going to be so tight. We're going to have the gargoyle, her Karana, a French policeman, or whatever. I mean, what?
Then to find out at the end of the movie, all of those gargoyles were little kids.
Right.
What? Why was he enslaving little
And now,
kids?
and what? Now they're free? Like, yeah. That movie was. It was really one of the worst that I think I ever.
It's
seen.
one of the worst.
And thank God you saw Bram Stoker's Dracula, the Coppola version, prior, because it's so superior.
Obviously, like I said, I'm not a big fan of these monster movies like Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, whatever. That's not really my vibe. But Bram Stoker's Dracula is something that kind of changed my view on this monster world, which is why I was very open to watching the new Dracula movie. I was like, okay, I'm excited. Deaded that immediately. But Bram Stoker's had the amazing, fantastical vibe to it, right? It had the castle looked great, the dresses, and the way that Gary Oldman does Dracula himself is pretty freaking cool. Like he looks a little goofy, but a scary goofy, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I think so. Once again, it's in the hands of one of the greatest filmmakers ever, Francis Ford Coppola. Really brought it back to the original Gothic, the way the book is. It's literally from the book. The book is written by Bram Stoker, way back in the day as a diary. So each chapter is another character's diary, and it tells the story that way. What's not in the book that he added was the real story of Dracula, right? So Bram Stoker came up with the idea for Dracula because of a real person in Transylvania named Vlad Tepes, Vlad the Impaler, they used to call him, who was a mean motherfucker who impaled, he won many wars against Turks that were trying to get Transylvania and Romania, and he would basically impale them on spikes. One of the rumors that he invited them all over to his castle one time for dinner, thinking, hey, we're going to be cool and be peaceful. And he burnt his castle up with them locked inside. He just burned them all up. He said, fuck it. He dies. And in Romania, in Transylvania, there is a huge lore that, he never really died, that he lived forever. And, the whole vampire lore comes a lot from that. Bram Stoker turned it into this movie, Dracula, which, oddly enough, essentially is a love story, technically. And that's sort of where Francis Ford Coppola brought it back to. Because then, Hollywood at the time was all the monster movies, right? The Universal monster movies, where Dracula was just, ooh, I'm going to suck your blood and whatever. He said, fuck all that. Let's go back to the original story. Let's make a real movie. And what a great cast he had. I mean, everybody in the fucking movie.
And I love Keanu Reeves, and obviously I've seen him in Bill and Ted and John Wick, whatever. Yeah. This is like, whoa, this is legit acting in this movie.
Anthony Hopkins kills it. Ryder kills it. I don't know what the redhead's name is, but my goodness, she's gorgeous in that movie. And Gary Oldman kills it. So the thing about Gary Oldman is what they say is, one of these days you're going to wake up, you're going to go to the mirror in your bathroom, and you're going to see Gary Oldman because you've been Gary Oldman this whole time. That's how great of an actor he is, that he's you the whole time, right? He nails it. And I don't know, so there was a documentary when this movie first came out, like the behind the scenes, and from what I kind of remember, I believe that Gary Oldman had a son that died, maybe very young, and right before he has to do emotional scenes, he actually has a picture of his son that he pulls out and looks. And then he goes and does the scene. Maybe look that up. I don't know if that's 100% true. I just kind of remember that from a documentary. But he's fantastic at it. The look of the film is great. The music, the soundtrack to that fucking movie is so good. Yeah. It's intense. And And there is this sexiness to it, this weird, one of the three, he has three minions, three girl minions. One is Monica Bellucci, for crying out loud, who's one of the greatest foreign actresses, most beautiful foreign actresses of all time.
Yeah.
So there's so many people in the movie. The sound of it is great. It really, I think, does not get enough love and credit.
It doesn't, yeah.
For being a fantastic film.
Yeah, it's
a real film.
It's very, very freaky in all of the right ways possible that you can make it.
Yeah, and there's a little scare to it.
Very scary. Like the whole thing with Keanu and him going to the place with Dracula is like, you kind of know what to expect and what's going to happen, but you don't really know. Like when you see it, you're like, oh shit, oh no, please don't do that. Like it's very scary.
Yeah,
and
there's scenes in it that go back to the beginning of actual filmmaking, which I think is fantastic. There's a scene where Mina, Winona Ryder's character, is walking through the city, where she first meets up with Dracula, and he finds her. And what she's going to see for entertainment is the old school films, like the flip book film stuff. That was back in the day. That's where people went. That was like your theater.
Wow.
And he brought that kind of all back to the sort of even the history of cinema, right, into this this new tale, and it was beautifully done.
Very beautiful. But yeah, I mean, for me, I definitely think this is probably the best Dracula movie ever made, probably.
Yeah, 100%.
And for me, Francis Ford Coppola, interestingly enough, this is my third ever movie of his. The first two being The Outsiders, obviously. And do you know the?
The second one? Oh, right, yeah.
I don't think you're ever gonna get this. This is really fun.
I don't have a clue. I know you didn't see The Godfathers, and I know you didn't see Apocalypse Now.
Captain EO.
He did Captain EO?
Isn't that crazy?
Really? It wasn't George Lucas?
He produced it probably, but he's the director of
maybe
Captain EO, which I find.
Well, that's another fantastic 3D film.
Which we saw when we went to Disney and stuff. So that was.
You saw, you actually saw it in the theater at Disney.
But yeah, Francis Ford Coppola is so weirdly like. So when you talk about he did The Godfather and The Outsiders and Captain EO, Dracula, he's such a versatile director too. I didn't really notice that with him is weird. It's so.
Francis Ford Coppola was actually going back to Robert Redford, right? So Robert Redford in the 60s was Hollywood. Francis Ford Coppola was one of what they considered film school new guys. So in the 70s, you had Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, Brian De Palma. There's a handful of others who just were coming out, who really studied film, foreign films, and were reinventing Hollywood. And they did. They completely reinvented Hollywood. Francis Ford Coppola was the real one to start that. So he started to really get power within the Hollywood system. And when he did Godfather, the studio actually was like, yo, you got to put Robert Redford in this movie. We need a famous person in The Godfather. And he's like, no, F off. We need this legit Italian-American actors. So he fought the studio, and he actually won. He became super powerful. He is really, he started a production company called Zoetrope. I don't know how to say it. And his funding and his power in the studio is what helped Spielberg get his first movies. He helped Jaws get made. He helped George Lucas get Star Wars get made. He helped everybody actually do their thing because he was like the godfather of them.
That's so cool.
And then he did a movie called Apocalypse Now, which again will be on one of our lists because it's amazing. It's about the Vietnam War. He actually went to Vietnam to film it. And crazy stories about that. I mean, people had heart attacks on set. He went so over budget by like a year and millions of dollars. The studio wanted footage. They're like, hey, we're not giving you any more money until you send us some of the film. He sent like 30 hours of nothing to them, just nothing. Right? They had no idea what the hell was going on. It's a crazy story. There's actually a cool documentary about the making of that film. He was crazy. So yes, and then he leveled out in the '80s and did some movies, some good stuff came out then with this. He did this movie and then The Last Godfather around the same time, I believe, within a few years. But they're great. He's absolutely somebody you need to check out as his history of Hollywood and cinema.
Very, very interesting there. Yeah, I mean, I'm very interested in Francis Ford Coppola a lot. Not only just because of the Dracula thing, it was more just like I've seen a whole bunch of his, a whole bunch. I've seen 2 movies that were very different from each other, and then watching this, which was another different thing, and then he did The Godfather, which is a completely different thing, and it sounds like Apocalypse Now is another completely different thing. And
oh god, it's completely
and I feel like sometimes, like, not saying that Spielberg is a very one-dimensional director, because he's not, but a lot of his movies does have that same vibe to it, where it's, Jurassic Park.
He's safe.
You know what I mean?
He's a very
it
safe.
Sounds like
yeah. Oh, it's for the kids.
Very versatile. I'm not saying Steven Spielberg isn't, but I'm saying, like, it's such a weird concept to me, where as a filmmaker you're trying to do the same tricks, the same things during different concepts, but when I watch The Outsiders and Dracula, it's like, oh no, those are, you could say, like, those seem like 2 very different directing styles in those movies to me. I don't know if you feel that same way with, when you watch The Godfather or Apocalypse Now with Francis Ford Coppola. Like, I don't know, I don't see him being
I think you can't even tell.
Right.
You can't even tell it's the same director, I don't think, on any of the films that he does. Spielberg, I think there's definitely a feel to it. There's a kiddiness to it.
Yeah.
There's an innocence that's always there. But I think some directors or artists, filmmakers, just do their art, right? So they're interested in this story and they're going to delve into it and create that world that way. Spielberg, I think, has a better handle on, this is my world and I'm just going to tell the story within it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Francis Ford Coppola also makes fantastic wine, by the way. He has a winery that he has wine that you can go buy as well. So he's a real interesting artist, very much influenced by foreign films. I mean, well, he's Italian American, so yeah, he's absolutely.
If you haven't seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, please go watch that. It's actually really good.
Oh,
and
it's so
if you
great.
planned on watching the new release Dracula, don't do that. You can skip that one immediately. You don't need to do that.
Yep. Go directly to past go.
So with that, before we end the episode, we need to spin the wheel of cinema. And for this month, we have a couple of films on here. You can barely see it. It's okay, it's blurry. We have my dad's pick, which is I Am Sam, which is, if you want to talk about that a little bit.
So I picked I Am Sam because it's Sean Penn.
Mm-hmm.
It is Sean Penn acting. I can't remember the year this came out. I want to say 90s something. Sean Penn plays a special needs person who has a daughter. And it is a beautiful movie. It is a beautiful story. He does amazing.
Okay. And then your next one was Magnolia, which is a PTA movie, obviously.
Yeah, I just feel we need you to see it close to him winning the Oscar.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's some movies where you just feel like you pull out all the stops.
Mm-hmm.
So he did Boogie Nights, which again is very much like a Martin Scorsese film. The way the camera moves, the flashiness, the characters, the insanity of it. And this movie, I felt like he just was like, we're going to do that, but bigger. It has a huge... It has basically the same cast as Boogie Nights, but added some people. Tom Cruise actually won Best Supporting Actor for his role in this, and well-deserved. Tom Cruise kills this fucking role. I can't even describe to you what this movie is about. It's about a group of people in LA and their lives, and it's all fucked up. Julianne Moore is amazing in it. John C. Reilly is amazing in it. Tom Cruise is amazing in it. Philip Seymour Hoffman is amazing in it. the entire cast is will blow your mind. The music in it is by Amy Mann. It's so beautiful, and I can't even tell you when you're done. You're not even gonna be like, "Well, this movie's about this." It's broad. It's a broad movie. Who's the guy from? There's another guy in it. I can't. William H. Macy. William H. Macy is amazing in it. The whole cast is gonna blow your mind. There's a little kid in it that's great. Yeah, it's a beautiful film. So that's what I've picked. I think I picked it last time too. Maybe it's gonna get on the third cast. I don't know. We'll see.
So yeah, and then I'm picking. One is Fruitvale Station, which is the first Ryan Coogler directed movie about a very real situation in I don't think it's LA. I think it's like Compton in California, with obviously police brutality and all that sort of thing, which is very close and personal to Coogler, with Michael B. Jordan in it, obviously. And then the other one is Sorry to Bother You. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's directed by Boots Riley, has Lakeith Stanfield in it, Tessa Thompson, Stephen Yeun, and it does have Armie Hammer in it. So there's that too.
Okay.
But it's a very weird, fantastical movie with I think oh my gosh, Danny Glover's in it as well. He's amazing. It's very weird and not fantastical, but has that vibe to it where it's like, oh, this is weird, but it's really well acted. So we're gonna go ahead and hit that spin the wheel. I can't see it. What is that? Is that sorry to bother you? Okay.
Sorry to bother you. Okay.
Alrighty. So yeah, that will be
All right.
the topic for next month. And
Excellent. I cannot wait.
yes, sir. I mean, I'm sure we'll probably watch Magnolia, soon, so that we can talk about that as well. But with that all being said,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Sorry to Bother will be on next week. So with that, I say like,
All right.
comment, share, subscribe, do all of the YouTube good stuff, and then we'll see you next month.